Welcome to the detailed app overview of the FSS Window Pro app. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the core functionality, screens, and buttons within the app so that you can quickly become proficient in utilizing the app in your day-to-day operations. Let's begin with the first screen you will see, the login screen. Your first time to log into the app will require you to set up a profile. You can either join as an individual or join under an already existing company. In order to join a company, a team member of that company must provide you with the 9-digit company code. Once you have that code, you would enter it here. If you are the first person to join from your company, the 9-digit company code is created when you join and can be shared with the rest of your team. We'll show you how to easily share your company code in just a moment. For this example, we'll be joining as an individual. Enter your first and last name, followed by your company name and email address. Your email address will serve as your user ID. Enter your phone number so that we can contact you if any problems should arise. Once you've completed all the mandatory fields, you must select the type of measurement you prefer, metric or imperial. Once you choose the measurement type, it is permanent. However, our backend reports will still allow you to convert dimensions both ways, so you always have options. Note, if you choose metric, it will display in centimeters with 1 decimal place. Next, you will see our FSS Window Pro terms and conditions. These can also be found on our website, www.fssapp.com. Once you accept, your profile is completed and you are ready to begin. Before we start making our first client, let's take a look at all the screens so you're comfortable with navigating around the app. Beginning at the home page, you will press the hamburger button at the top left corner of the screen. In this left menu screen, you can see your name and the company code assigned to you. The first button is the web login. This button will allow you to seamlessly log into your client reports on our portal without ever having to remember your username and password. When you want to log into your reports, open a browser on your computer and navigate to www.fssapp.com. Then select the FSS Window Pro app button on the top menu. You will click the button FSS Window Pro subscribers click here for reports. A screen with a QR code appears. Now, on your phone, press the web login button. When you press this button the first time, you will be prompted to allow the app access to your camera. Please allow the camera access in order to easily use the web login feature and take pictures on the job site while using the app. Now you will see the white square on your screen. Point this white square at the QR code on our website and it will automatically log the website in. Now you are ready to access your reports. If you're accessing the portal from the same device that you're using the app on, you have the option to manually log into the reports too. We recommend that you bookmark the login page for quick navigation. Our next button on the left menu is the Unit of Measurement button. Please note that this is only displayed to users who selected Imperial on the sign-up screen. For maximum accuracy, we prefer to use 1/16 inch measurements, so we will select that button now. However, if you're more comfortable working with 1/8 inch measurements, you can choose that here. This can be changed at any time. Simply navigate back to this left menu and select the desired fractions. Our next button is the FSS Premium Subscription button. You are able to add 1 client and 1 window to the app without subscribing, but once you create and save the second window, you will be prompted to subscribe. You will need to subscribe as a monthly user to continue access to all our features. When you click Buy Now, you will be prompted to continue in the App Store. The next button on this menu is the Offline Windows button. This mode allows you to capture measurements while in a house with a radiant barrier, or in a rural area with no cell coverage. We will walk you through how to use this offline mode in the next core functionality video called Offline Mode. Next, we have the suggestion form. We love hearing ways that we can improve your experience, so please use this form with any ideas you have. All suggestions are welcome. When submitting a suggestion, you can attach any images that may be helpful in conveying your idea. You can use the camera to capture complex windows or customer scenarios you want to share. Additionally, if you run into an issue within the app, please help us improve by taking a screenshot and submitting it using this form. If you take a screen recording, you can always send it over to support@fssapp.com. The last button on this menu is the Log Out button. Also, at the bottom of the screen, you can see what version of the app you are using. If you ever need to report an issue, it's helpful for us to know what version you are on. Moving on to the next section of the app, let's go back to the home screen. On this screen, we see the action buttons at the top for creating a new client and the how-to section. We'll come back to adding a client in just a minute. When you go into the how-to section, you will see the FSS Window Pro learning process roadmap. We recommend following these videos in the order that you see on the roadmap to learn how to use the app and your Leica laser measuring device. When you click into the videos, you can access them here in the app without having to go directly to YouTube. Once you exit the video, you will find yourself on the home screen again. The bottom menu shows the home screen in orange. If you want to look for a client, you will select the search button. Now type the name in the search bar, select the search button, and your client will appear. If you fill out a client number or quote number, you can also search by those. The next button at the bottom is the company button. This is where you can find clients created by anyone else who is using the same company code. Please note that if you edit someone else's client, they will move into your homepage as one of your top 5 most recent clients. This will remove them from a recent client for your teammate. Your teammate can always find the client again by searching in the company search screen. The final button on this screen is the profile button. Here, you can see and edit all of your information such as email, phone number, and password. This button on the company code line allows you to copy the company code and send it to anyone in your organization by simply pasting it into a text and sending. Now, let's dive into adding a new client. The only required fields are first and last name and email address. However, we recommend using client or quote numbers and addresses as well. If you fill out the address field, you can add it to an installation report to help your installation team stay organized. As a best practice, we recommend that you add the client's profile before starting the consultation. This gives you the freedom to keep up the conversation while you discuss options, and seamlessly transition into measuring for maximum efficiency. If you need to edit the client's profile information at any time, just click on the Edit button in the top right corner. You can edit all the client's information here, or you can delete the client altogether if you choose. Once you have saved the client's profile, you can click on their name to begin adding information. We organize everything by rooms, so as you have the conversation with the client about what the scope of the project will be, you can quickly add the rooms to their profile. For this example, we are going to do a few rooms. We will start with Bedroom 1. Click the Add Room icon and scroll down to Bedroom 1. In case you are talking with your client and distracted and enter the same room name twice, there is a pop-up to prevent you from duplicating rooms as you go. Room names will not be able to be duplicated to help prevent confusion for you and your team. Next, let's add a breakfast nook and a room they call Chris's office. Now, click the Add Room icon and scroll down to the Select Breakfast Nook. For the office, we will select the Custom Name option and type in Chris's office. You can see all the created rooms on the client's main screen. If you ever decide to delete a room, you will simply open the room and press the trash icon at the top right screen. To prevent you from accidentally deleting important information, you'll have a chance to confirm that this is the action you want to take. To begin capturing measurements, let's open up Bedroom 1. Once you are in this screen, click the Add Window icon. You can see at the top that there are 3 different types of forms to choose from: single window, specialty window, and draperies. Once you select the form type, you will select the window name. For a new room, it will default to Window A, and as you add additional windows, the app will automatically increment up to Window ZZ. We recommend the auto-naming and incrementing function for maximizing your efficiency. If you have a custom name you would prefer, simply select Custom Name from the drop-down menu and type it in. We recommend as a best practice that you move from left to right in a clockwise manner around the room as you name the windows. This is covered in detail in the Advanced Tips and Tricks Session 1 video. This methodology will establish a pattern that you and your whole team can follow without confusion. Next, you will choose whether you are measuring for an inside mount treatment or an outside mount treatment with this toggle button. Now we can start capturing dimensions. We have our 3 widths and 3 heights and sill depth. Next, you will capture the side of the window trim to the left and right walls, the top of the trim to the ceiling, the bottom of the trim to the ceiling, floor to ceiling, and bottom trim to floor. The next field is a square footage or square meter calculation. This tool is useful if you are quoting shutters. This takes the largest height and largest width to calculate what your square footage will be. Please note for quoting shutters that this does not include trim into the calculation. If the client wants trim on the shutters, be sure to do a separate calculation to bid the job appropriately. Your laser device will send actual measurements over in 3 decimal places with no rounding. In the bottom right, you will see 2 green floating buttons. The bottom right button will display a 1/8 fraction, a 1/16 fraction, or cm for centimeter, depending on what your unit of measurement selection is. Pressing this fraction button will convert the dimensions into fractions using our proprietary rounding tables. We developed our rounding tables from running this technology with our own window treatment businesses. The square footage calculation will also update or calculate. Additionally, when you scroll up to the top, you can see the smallest width and the smallest height highlighted in green. When you place an order, this gives you a quick visual reference of the dimensions you need to use while ordering product. If you happen to see an obstruction that needs to be documented, add in a custom row and name it accordingly. You can also type in a note in the Notes section. Additionally, you can snap a picture for a visual reference for you and your team. At the top of the screen, you will see 1 button to the left and 3 buttons on the right. The left button is a back arrow to exit the window. If you need to quickly navigate out, you can hit the back arrow. Then a pop-up will appear. It will prompt you to save your information before exiting the window. Choose either Yes or Discard. If you change your mind and want to stay in the room, simply touch the screen outside this box and you can continue editing this window. Moving over to the buttons on the right, if you are operating with imperial units, the first button is a fraction input button. Note this button will not be visible if you're operating with metric units. We understand that from time to time you will still need to use a tape measure to capture special or complex measurements. We make entering those measurements seamless with our fraction button, allowing you to input the exact dimensions using scroll wheels instead of typing. This empowers you to never worry about typing in a number wrong again. Here, you can see that we used it to capture the dimensions of the door to the light switch. The second button is to import dimensions created in offline mode. We will cover this functionality in detail in the next video, Offline Functionality. The third button is the Save Template button. This allows you to set the screen configuration to best complement your normal pattern of measuring. You will notice that all dimensions have the hamburger lines next to them. You can hold it down with your finger and drag to rearrange the dimensions in the order that best suits you. If you find that your normal measuring practices need other dimensions, not in the default list, you can create custom dimensions using the Add Custom Row button. Please note that there is a limit to 15 custom rows that can be added to each template. An example is that you always want to capture the distance to the closest electrical outlet for plugging in a motorized shade battery charger. You can name the row Electrical Outlet, then move it to the best place for you. Once you have rearranged these rows to get the form set up to your liking, you can select the Save Template button and select Yes. Now your single window form will load every time in this order. If you ever want to reset the template, simply select the Save Template button again and press the bottom Reset Template button. Now your default form will be restored to the original format. Scrolling down, we see a section to capture notes. This is great for capturing observations in the room, customer requests, fabric, product selection, or anything else important to the quoting and ordering process. This is a dynamic field, so capture as many notes as you need to. The Installation Notes section is where you can add specific requests and instructions for the installation team. This field is also dynamic, so add in all the notes you need to set the install team up for success. Both the Notes and the Installation Notes section work with the voice-to-text feature on your phone to speed up your note-taking process. Below this section, you will see the visual illustration that shows you the dimensions that you took above. The green highlighted portion shows the smallest dimension to help you with communication to the client, quoting and ordering. The final portion of the form is where you can upload images. You can either take pictures directly from the camera or upload images from your phone's gallery. Your first time to take pictures, you will need to allow the app access to your camera and photos. We recommend allowing access to all photos for the fastest uploading experience. If you want to take multiple photos at one time, we recommend navigating to the camera and taking them all at once. Then you can come back and select Gallery and import all of them simultaneously. If this window is the only one in the room, you can click Save at the bottom and it will close the form out. If you have more windows to capture in this room, then you will want to select the Save and Next button instead. This button is the top green floating button above the fraction conversion. This will allow you to quickly save this window and start on the next one for maximum speed and efficiency. After pressing Save and Next, you can see that it created a new window and the naming system incremented to window B. You can also see our custom template loaded with our reorganized rows and the custom row called Electrical Outlet. Since we have already seen the single window form, let's move over to the specialty window form. Note that the window name stayed the same, we just changed the form type. You can choose between the following specialty window types: bay, recessed, bow, recessed bow, perfect arch, Palladian arch, eyebrow arch, elongated quarter arch, non-perfect quarter arch, and perfect quarter arch. The bay and bow window forms are targeted for tricky wall measurements for doing draperies or outside mount windows. The recessed adds legs onto the windows, which adds in a few measurements. In the bow window, we created it to default to 5 windows, since that is the most common bow configuration in North America. After the bay and bow windows, we have the specialty arches. For arch measurements, you will require a tape measure for the center height measurements. We recommend you utilize the Lufkin self-centering tape measure. We discussed this in detail in our Advanced Tips and Tricks Session 4 video. A more complex arch example is the elongated quarter arch, with the B1 and B2 leg measurements. Using the self-centering tape measure will allow you to quickly figure out where to place the laser device to accurately measure the X1 and X2 dimensions. If there are any other dimensions you need, you can always add a custom row to capture them. There is also a square footage calculation for the specialty arches. The 3 window forms all have identical functionality for the notes, installation notes, and image sections. Once we are finished capturing dimensions on this window, we will hit the Save and Next button to move on to window C. Let's take a look at the draperies form. This form is specifically designed for multiple windows in series with draperies, which is very common in North American living rooms. The first thing you will need to do is select the number of windows for the room. Our app has the option to select 1 to 5 windows. Let's start with a single window to review the form. You can see the draperies form comes pre-populated with many measurements. In order to help new operators in the window treatment space, we provide a visual reference for all these dimensions. Scroll down and press the green View Reference Image button. You can see a visual guide showing what each dimension captures. If you select the 5 windows in series, you can see more dimensions. This visual reference will help you navigate what measurements to take. You can see that each window is labeled A through E. If the client wants to use multiple curtain rods, we recommend that you add a custom row for each of the rods and follow the same naming system moving left to right on the wall. Curtain rod A, curtain rod B, and so on. If the customer wants to do shutters along with their draperies, you can see that we have captured the square footage for each window as well. If you have a set way that you prefer to measure for draperies, you can rearrange the rows and add custom rows to create a custom template. Note that you will have a separate template for each number of windows in series. So if you only create a template in the 5 window in series form, the 2 windows in series form will still open in the default format. Now we select the Save button and exit this form. You can see the 3 windows we have created. Inside the app, we have included 3 common reference pictures to help you quickly identify the windows form used for each window. You can see here window A is a single window, window B is a specialty window, and window C is a draperies window. Anytime you need to access your window data again, simply click into the window. If for some reason you want to delete this window, you simply open the window, scroll to the bottom, and click the Delete Window button. Once you complete this bedroom, you will open up the next room and follow the same process. In summary, the FSS Window Pro app will allow you to select your preferred unit of measurement, function without cell reception seamlessly, log into the web portal quickly, capture client data with all the measurements, job site photos, and notes that you need. Users can also access our learning videos inside the app and collaborate with others on your team for data sharing. Thank you for your time. We hope this video enables you to quickly become proficient in utilizing the app in your day-to-day operations. Please continue with the next video to learn more about offline functionality.